live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Hey, hey, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going. Yeah, yeah, we going. Yeah, 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 we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line. Hey.
All right, topics. Where we at? All right, so rivalry week. Did you expect?
Went well for Georgia, but
it did. It didn't go
it
well
went well
for
for Georgia,
everybody.
but I don't know too many other teams.
It did not go well for everybody.
No.
I'm going to start with the one that I correctly predicted last week. And so Vince was on last week, and he is a diehard University of Michigan fan. And so when we were having that conversation, I was talking about the college football playoff. And that was kind of the reason we got into that conversation.
Yeah.
I made the prediction that University of Michigan was going to win that game. And I don't think many people outside of the state of Michigan truly believed that they would win that game. But I just felt something about the fact that Ohio State blew out Michigan State and Michigan lost to Michigan State. And so Michigan would come in feeling a little bit overconfident and not prepare as well as they probably did against Michigan State. Now, I know that was a mouthful, and I apologize.
No, you're good.
But that sometimes happens. And teams, what they do is they'll overlook a team or they'll feel like, a little more confident than they should. And they go into a game and lay an egg. And so that's what Ohio State did, in my opinion.
Yeah, they laid an egg.
They laid an egg and they lost to Michigan. And that was the thing. It was in Michigan and it was really cold that day.
It was snowing.
Yeah.
It was snowing. I said, oh, this is ugly. Like, from the beginning, I was like, this is ugly. But anybody who's ever listened to us or watched us knows I'm always the person that's like, I don't understand why Ohio State is always ranked so high anyway.
Yeah.
That's my thing all the time. Because you don't really play anybody. Then you get in these games, and this is what makes my point. Because this shouldn't have happened.
I think after the SEC, and so I'll push back against that. After the SEC, the Big Ten is the next best conference. When you look at the number of teams that they have ranked, and really just the strength of those teams.
Yeah. And
so I think Ohio State is usually ranked one before their performance. When we see what they did to Michigan, and I think there's just really a lack of consistency across college football now, right? Because
speaking of parity,
you look at Alabama and what happened to them against Texas A&M, and you say to yourself, well, how did they lose to Texas A&M? They're probably a better team, but these guys can't keep that consistency from week to week. And so when we go back to Ohio State, they probably should have beat Michigan, and they probably would have if it was in Ohio State. But it was in Michigan, any given Saturday. And so, it makes sense. In Ohio State, they recruit well. They're always in that top 10 in recruiting. And so, I don't think it's necessarily like a favoriting of them by the committee. I do think and I won't go deep into this, but I do think there is a bit of disrespect for the non-Power 5 conferences when you look at
for sure
how disrespected Cincinnati has been, and then other teams in the past like Central Florida, and some of those other teams who finished the season with an undefeated record, but didn't get the opportunity to play for a championship.
Yeah, that's a problem for me. And let me go back on my Ohio State thing and say this: I love you, Antoine.
Oh yes. So sorry for you. No playoffs for you this year, guy.
Yeah, no. Sorry. This was it. Done with football.
And that's how we know, we talked a little bit about the business of this thing and how, I felt like a 2-loss Ohio State team could possibly make it in if Iowa beats Michigan in the championship. And I'm sorry, we're all off topic, but I felt like there was a chance for Ohio State to get in. But I'm thinking now, I don't think so. I think the only team that could possibly have 2 losses and still make it in, and this is not this year because if they lose to Georgia, it's over for them, is Alabama.
Yep.
That's the only team that could possibly do something like that.
And they still might make it, even if they lose to Georgia.
Well, nah. It's over for them if they lose to Georgia.
No.
It's over for them if they lose to Georgia because they're already outside looking in.
Yeah.
They need a
They're
win.
Number 6. Are they at number 6?
Number 6. They need a win to propel them back into
that
the playoff.
Top 4.
Yeah. And so if they were to get in, a bunch of teams would have to lose. Michigan would have to lose. Cincinnati would have to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Yeah, no, it's a few teams that would have to lose in order for them to get back in.
Okay, well, either way,
yeah,
I feel like this rivalry is not just the Ohio State Michigan game, but a few of them this past weekend that have just kind of shook up the whole college football, all this ranking, all of these projections and how you had you just knew this was good. Okay, well, everybody's stuff just got shaken all the way up this weekend.
That goes out the window during rivalry week.
I know that's a tongue twister. I don't know why that word is so hard to get out. Rivalry. Yeah.
It's like, you got to rivalry.
Rivalry. Yes, that's one of those words. Precipice and rivalry have to be spoken.
I'm going to cut that clip and put it right in. Stephanie and Jarrett try to say rivalry.
Rivalry. They say it real fast 5 times. Right. See how it feels.
Sounded all types of crazy.
Yes.
No, but anyway. tell me like some of the upsets or one of the upsets that kind of caught your eye this weekend.
That was it for me because I watched that game. I think I watched that. I watched that whole game, and so I think that was the one that just really stuck out to me. Who else? Because that was a game I watched. I was like, I'm again back to a point from I'm like, oh, they about to go down. I need to see this.
Let me look at this. Yeah.
So even on the other side of it, right? Yeah. Who else? Tell me who else played. I'm trying to think.
Oklahoma State. I don't know if it was necessarily an upset, but Oklahoma State knocked off Oklahoma. I felt like Oklahoma was going to win that game.
I did too. Yeah. Yes, that's the other one that was popping out of my mouth when we first started was Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, because I felt like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Did Texas play somebody? I can't remember. Why do I feel like it's another team that I was like, wait, what? It was Ohio State. It was Oklahoma. These were the ones that were just shockers to me.
We had Alabama, Auburn, and while that ended with Alabama winning, I don't think that anybody expected Auburn to play them that
for
tough.
Sure.
Yeah.
Listen, fingers was crossed. Come on, Auburn. But yeah. No, of course that because they won, I can't count that one. But I feel like it exposed that they're not the Alabama of old.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, we're not talking about them right now because we're going to talk about them in a minute. So, who else played? I didn't even think to pull it up. I'm like, because I was really paying attention to the people that were in the top 5 spots because that's where it was really crucial.
Well, so this one wasn't really an upset, but the fact that their coach just got fired, Florida versus Florida State.
Oh yeah.
Florida won that game by 3.
That wasn't an upset. That was just
the toilet bowl.
I was gonna say that was just a pitiful game to watch if you really felt this way. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And I don't care. I live in Florida, and I'm gonna say it. It wasn't worth the money that they printed no. It was not.
It wasn't worth the extra charm.
It was not. I'm like, this is horrible. I don't even want to watch that game. Like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sorry that I didn't pull it up.
Actually, let me, because I think maybe I made a mistake. Because Cincinnati is currently sitting at number 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Yeah, they are.
Michigan's at number 3, but Alabama's at number 4.
Oh, I thought they were at 6. Maybe that was last week.
No, I think maybe what I did was, maybe I'm not looking at the college football playoff rankings.
Oh, I don't know. I'm looking at the games that were played. And anything that was like, Michigan, Ohio State, Texas Tech, Baylor won though. Alabama, Auburn, Oregon State, Penn State, Michigan State.
Yeah.
Texas A&M and LSU, not really. Yeah. No, I mean, Clemson won, right?
Yeah, Clemson won.
Okay. And Notre Dame beat Stanford.
Notre Dame beat Stanford.
Mm-hmm. So no, I mean, pretty much who you thought you are, we thought you were. Yeah. The teams who, it was just that those, for me, I was paying attention. That's why I didn't really know who else, like the other games and stuff, because those teams that are in that top tier were the ones that I was paying attention to, because it's always that sleeper game where you think, oh, I'm playing, my rival who might not be as good a team as I am, to your point about Ohio State, right?
Yeah.
And so they'll come in and sneak one in on you. And that's what they did to them. And so, yeah.
Okay, so the way it goes is Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Alabama 3, Cincinnati 4, Oklahoma State 5, Notre Dame 6, Ohio State 7, Ole Miss 8. Shout out to Lane Kiffin.
Right.
Ole Miss at number
Ole
8.
Miss is up there, right?
Yeah, that's wild.
But I got a problem with Alabama being above Cincinnati.
Yeah,
anyway.
I got a problem with anybody other than Georgia being above Cincinnati.
Ouch. I got the hiccups. Okay.
I think Georgia's clearly number 1. Cincinnati's undefeated, and they knocked off number
some
6
big
Notre Dame.
Yeah, yes. They didn't play no slouchy, Anyway, but that goes back to my point. Anyway, right. All right, let's go on. We can be here all day.
Right, because we'll toil around this one all day.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about Lincoln Riley's departure from, what school is Lincoln Riley at? Oklahoma, excuse me.
Oklahoma, yes.
And recruits are starting to back out. And the question that we have here is, should college athletes base their decision on coaches?
Yeah, this was interesting for me because I had just watched, that's why it's in parentheses there, just watched All American, which is the show about the young, it's a true story about the young man from Compton who played football at Beverly Hills and then went back home and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So he was obviously committed to a school, and the wide receivers coach from that school left. He did not know that. When they came and brought him this offer, he signed the offer, not knowing that the coach had left, and ended up decommitting. And so this is the same thing that you're seeing with the Oklahoma recruits who are leaving because Lincoln Riley is leaving.
Right.
And I personally don't think you should be going to, this is the educator in me. You shouldn't be going to school just solely based on the football program.
That's the word right there. That's the word for me. Solely, but your coach has to play a big part in why you're going to the school.
Of course.
You're going to spend most of your time with him. Now, and my experience with this is I was ready to leave Howard after what was supposed to be my senior year, because I ended up having to sit out with an injury. and they made a decision not to renew Coach Petty's contract. Mm-hmm. So I think I told the story before how we stormed into the provost's office and it was like,
this y'all different world story.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You want to talk to us and let us know like what's up. And so that's when they told us like, yeah, well, a few of us had threatened to leave the school, or at least we're talking about leaving the school.
Right.
And I was going to transfer to Bowie. I don't think my parents were a little happy about
like
that.
What? Okay.
You about to get a degree from Howard. You
sir.
Slow down, son.
Right.
But I was ready to transfer, and I think it's one of those things where you build this. I don't want to call it father son because I had a father, but you build this relationship with your coach where it's like very familial.
Right. It's familiar.
So, yep. Yeah. And so you build that relationship, and then you're forced to say, okay, I'm going to stay here at this school and have to wait on another coach who's going to come here who may be different. He may not appreciate my talents. And, and so that is a big portion of it. Now, obviously, you don't want to get to your senior year and say like, well, I'm just going to leave now after I done gone through my classes and I'm almost at the end of my studies. But for these recruits who are coming in,
that's all I was going to say.
The decision now, like choosing your major, I don't even think most freshmen should choose a major.
Yeah. But you should have an idea of why you like, I feel like they should have an idea. So where their interests are, where their purpose is.
No, definitely. But the percentage of college athletes who switch majors is really high. And so I don't even feel like you should choose a major in the beginning. You should take all kind of your core courses, and then you may decide based off of being in school, like, oh, I kind of like this more than that. Because if you go to school and you just say, I want to be a lawyer, and you don't really know why you're wanting to be a lawyer, like we're asking a lot of 17 to 18-year-olds.
Absolutely, I agree.
And then you get into it and you realize, I don't really like this, which a lot of college athletes do.
They do.
Then you end up changing your major, and it's like, okay, I went to this school for this, and I haven't even discovered myself enough to know what it is that I'm truly passionate about. Which is,
I agree that. I mean, I do agree with that, but I still say you don't go to school. You're getting the word student is in front of your title,
right?
Student athlete,
right?
Even people who do not play sports go to school, pick schools based on criteria that might not be because they don't know what they want to major in either, but they pick other criteria about the school that makes it. So I feel like, why is it that a football player wouldn't do the same thing? An athlete wouldn't do the same thing. Look at other criteria about that school, not just the football program, when you are making a decision. Because I feel like, unlike your situation that you just shared, someone who is coming into the school, you've had a few conversations with that coach, but you haven't built rapport yet. Because you ain't been on campus, you ain't had that chance. Like I mean, if a coach is like on All-American, this coach was promising him, we were about to build our whole offense around you. That's one thing, right?
Right.
But how many people getting that kind of talk?
A lot of them, which is why they decommitted. If Lincoln Riley comes and sits in your, and you've seen him, he's been in the college football playoff. He comes and sits in your home and he tells your parents, like, this is the plan that I have for your child. And then after that,
he goes away. Now
what? And that's what these kids are left with. And that's that. I think that transitions us into the next topic about, Lincoln Riley is on his way to USC, University of Southern Cal. But now Brian Kelly, who was the head coach of the Notre Dame, is on his way to LSU. And thankfully, it's not like this anymore. When I was in school, it was a lot harder to transfer between schools.
No, the transfer portal is wide open now.
It's wide open now, and kids can kind of transfer to wherever they want. And so I think they leveled the playing field because because my argument for that would be, well, why do coaches just to get to pick up and
right, right,
players can't? But now there is upward mobility throughout college football or throughout college athletics,
right?
And I'm not terribly mad at it. You know, I think. Did you send me the graphic or did I send you the? No, I sent you the graphic.
You sent it to me because I remember my response.
Right. You sure you don't still want to coach?
No, you don't want to. Listen, this man about to make what?
$9.5 million a year after 15 years ago, he was making $185,000. Now listen.
$185,000 is not nothing to sneeze at for the average person. So let's start with that. Okay?
I was just about to say, I mean, I'll take the $185,000 right now.
So you sure you don't want to go coach again? That's all I'm gonna keep saying. I'm just saying. Yeah.
If y'all want to give up the $185,000, I'll come back and coach. I will come.
And that was back then, so you know that ain't even an option now. It's probably way more than that.
Well, they said
just minimally
adjusted for inflation. It's probably about 260 something now.
It said it in the article you sent me that they adjusted it to like 260. Like, come on, sir. Yeah. You sure? You sure? Just saying. Just saying. Heck, I'll go coach.
Right. Do you think these were smart decisions though by both of these gentlemen?
So I come at this from a different standpoint. I'm not looking at it from the standpoint of their money, the money grab, right? I'm looking at it from the standpoint of building programs. Mm-hmm. And they both have built really good programs. Mm-hmm. Consistently good programs. And I don't know if the grass is greener on the other side in either one of these particular situations, because in my mind, look at how every LSU coach has left for the last couple of people who've been the coach. Look at what's happened at USC. I don't know if I would go from my nice cushy job where I took the time to build up this program to go and take on it. I just don't know if I would do it to myself personally. So no, that's my answer. No.
Nah, you don't think it was a good idea?
No.
So I don't know about in the case of Lincoln Riley. I don't know about his case, but in Brian Kelly's case, it was 100% a better move to go from Notre Dame to LSU. And the most glaring thing is you're going to get a different type of athlete at LSU that would not be able to come to Notre Dame.
It's SEC, of course.
Well, and so that's to me what makes it a good move. If you want to compete with Alabama on a level playing field with the type of athlete that you can recruit, because that was what was said about the game where Alabama blew Notre Dame out in the college football, one of the first college football playoffs where Notre Dame went. And they got the brakes beat off of them. They just didn't have the type of athlete to match up. And now you can go and recruit these guys if you're Brian Kelly. You don't have to worry about the rigorous academic standards, and I hate to say that, but the rigorous academic standards at Notre Dame that will hold you back from getting the type of players that can compete within Alabama. Because now you're in the same conference, you have the same sort of resources, and you have a different level of access.
I guess my thing, so this goes back to a conversation we had probably 2 years ago about when I said that the SEC is just, it's not fair because it's grown men. And we had this whole conversation, and I feel like they still get the best recruits, but it's not the way that it was a few years ago. Well, you can bring in, I don't know. I just feel like if you believe in yourself as a coach, and you coach your kid. Okay. So here's why I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna just say this, and you play football, you know better than I do. Yeah. So I'm gonna say this from the perspective that I have. Okay, the perspective that I have is my ex-husband coaching AAU basketball, and every year having a team that, upon looking at it, people would say was mediocre in comparison to some of the other teams that we had to play every weekend, right? We were playing the Celtics. We were in the big boy tournaments. He did not shy away from going to the big boy. I don't even know what's going on down here. We going up there. That's where we play. We be at Swanee just about every other weekend, or if we weren't out of town somewhere playing like big teams in Alabama or some, in Florida or something. So he didn't back down from it. And we went and we competed. Sometimes we got blown out, but sometimes they won. And he coached those kids up to a level. Their parents even said it. Like, our children playing basketball, like we've never seen them play basketball before. Because he was able to coach those kids up.
Right.
To not just about their talents and their skill sets and the fundamentals, but their mindset.
Right.
So that's all I'm gonna say, because that's my experience. I was there. I have seen teams, the coach wouldn't even shake my ex-husband's hand. So pissed because they just knew when they saw us come that they were gonna win.
Yeah.
And I'll say honestly, it was something about race, but anyway, yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. But like, this isn't to discredit that, because we see that coaching sometimes. A saying is you can't outcoach great talent, right?
Okay.
But you also got the saying that hard work.
It's all kind of sayings.
Yeah, it's all types of sayings. But
yeah.
So what I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, the reason why we look at who has the best recruiting class and who, and it's typically those SEC teams who have them.
Yeah.
It isn't necessarily that the coaching is a lot better in the SEC. Like, these players are going to, and we start to see that in bowl games, right? Because we see SEC teams get upset in bowl games.
Exactly.
We can attribute that to the fact that, it's just a bowl game, they weren't playing for real, and this, that, and the third. But we also understand that sometimes these coaches get out-coached. And so
Absolutely.
That's a reality of it.
Absolutely.
When we're talking about the tippy top point of college football, and we look at Clemson being able to knock off Alabama 3 or 4 years,
right?
We see that Clemson had just as much talent as Alabama had.
That's my point.
And at that point, it ends up being who wants it more. Now, if I'm at a Notre Dame and I'm not able to get those kids that Clemson and Alabama get because of these rigorous academic standards, then as a coach, of course, I'm going to want to put myself in a position to get those kids that I probably couldn't get at Notre Dame.
So it's almost an ego thing.
Not necessarily ego. And the thing is, okay, like if we're in a race, Lane Kiffin has a Acura sports car, and
NSX, NXR.
Yeah. Yes, NSX. What's his name? Coach from Alabama. I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, Nick Saban.
Nick Saban has a Ferrari.
Okay.
And the coach from Clemson has a Lamborghini.
Dabo Sweeney.
And I'm Brian Kelly and I have a Honda. And you're telling me, well, I mean, the Honda could win, but the I still have
at least have a BMW or something.
No, it's a Honda.
A Honda?
At the end of the day, I still have a Honda. And while if I drive it correctly, and maybe these other coaches aren't driving their luxury sport cars as correctly, I could probably be in the race, The reality is I'm still at a deficit because I'm in the Honda and they have better sports cars.
That analogy hurts, but okay.
Well, and the thing is, like, I think that's not to take away from these coaches and their ability to coach, but we can't ignore the fact that some players just have a ceiling.
Yeah, I mean, no, I know that there are levels to this. Obviously, They wouldn't have 5, 4, 3-star recruits by their names if there weren't levels to this. I understand that. I don't know. I feel like I'm the type of person, I guess it's just my personality. I would rather just stay and prove that that I can do this with the kids that I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's just me, because I'm gonna stay for them more so than anything. And that would be my problem. I'd still be in the same school for years because I'm staying for these kids.
Right.
That's yeah. I'm still living nice. It's not like I'm making $245,000. Let's be clear, because Brian Kelly nor Lincoln Riley making $260,000.
No, they're making a few million.
Let's be clear. So that's not even the point. Yeah.
No, I don't think it's the money. I don't think it's the money. I think the money helps. I think that it's you wanting more and you wanting to level the playing field.
I mean, I guess if you're, from an ambition standpoint, a goal standpoint, obviously you want to go to storied big programs.
Right.
I get it.
Well, and there's none more. There's no story program. Like, let's not forget Notre Dame is like the Yankees. But the reality is, if you put Nick Saban at Notre Dame and he's not able to get the kids that he gets at Alabama, he may have them really coached up. But when he runs into a Clemson where the coaching is just as good, it's just no way to compete.
I get it. I guess. I don't know. My heart is for the kids, so it's a little hard for me to.
No, and I'm with you. Like, you talking to the person that's at LA Fitness training people for.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know that story. So.
Right.
I'm all about keeping my word and being, being for the underdog and whatnot, and being against the establishment.
I think that's part of my reason why I'd be like, no, I don't want it. You good? I'm good. Yeah. You got it. Thanks. So yeah. All right, man.
This next
you can tell we ain't been together for a minute.
I know. Look, we just talking about everything, spending a whole bunch of time on stuff.
I know. All right, let's go.
All right, Paige Buecker becomes the first NCAA athlete to sign with Gatorade. Not the first female athlete.
No.
The first NCAA athlete
to
sign with Gatorade.
Yeah. This is big.
This NIL thing is working out really, really famously, right?
Right. Yeah.
Tell that to Spencer Rattler and the people who I'm sorry. That wasn't necessary.
Anywho, yeah. Okay. So Miss Paige, this is huge.
Were you able to find like the particulars of the deal, like the terms?
I did see it, but I didn't. Of course, I told you I'm rusty coming back.
Yeah. No, I only asked that because when I looked for it, I didn't see that that they put out a
they may not have
or anything like that. And it would make sense because she's a college
right. Let's see. And of course she's that part I guess makes sense as a college athlete. I mean, it would make sense that the first one would come from UConn, right?
Right. Well, I don't know. I mean, they did get blown out by South Carolina a few weeks back.
Oh, did they? Okay. Mm-hmm. I haven't been, I can honestly say.
Okay.
Multi-year NIL endorsement deal. First freshman to ever, she won the John Wooden Award as the nation's best collegiate female player last season as a freshman. Gatorade's first NCAA athlete partner, the company called her, is the perfect condition to I'm just reading it says, if it says.
Excuse me, Paige, I butchered your name. It's Paige Buecker.
And it's probably because I spelled it wrong on there.
Yeah, no, I don't see
Gatorade. Yeah, they didn't. I don't think they did.
I don't see $1.
They just said it's a multi-year endorsement with Sneaker Marketplace StockX.
So, I mean, regardless of the dollar amount, this is still a huge deal. So shout out to you, Paige, for this opportunity. And again, she is the first NCAA athlete.
And so I love that part.
Yeah.
Smart on Gatorade's part to make it a female. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was their Gatorade Player of the Year in high school too. So her senior year. So, just flows right on into perfect. Yeah. So yeah, I think this is really cool. But shout out to her. Like, get that paper, baby. Look. Yeah. Go get your coin, sweetie.
Right. All right. Sticking with women's basketball, because after she leaves college basketball, she could potentially go to the WNBA. Yeah. And we've spoken about the WNBA, the salary or lack thereof.
Yes, that's the part.
For WNBA players. And it's pushed Liz Cambridge, I believe, who was the center for the Las Vegas Aces. It's pushed her to be a content creator on OnlyFans. Mm-hmm. And let me be clear, because OnlyFans isn't just a platform for adult entertainment. It's a platform for content creators, but she is using it as a platform for adult entertainment. And so in reading the story, it says that this is the money that is supplementing her WNBA contract. Now, I don't know if she is using this as a way of making a statement, but even if she isn't, this is making a statement.
Oh, it's a statement.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. It's a statement. I don't care what her intention was behind it. It's a statement, and it's loud.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
It's loud.
Definitely.
This will capture your attention, right? This will capture somebody's attention to say, what? Like, because as long as you were just going overseas and playing basketball throughout the, off season, in these different countries and dealing with Lord knows what, it was okay.
Right.
Because you're still doing what you love. You playing basketball. What's the big deal? But this, and this is no judgment on what she's doing. It is just such indictment on the WNBA. That this would be what she would even feel like she had to resort to do.
Right. I'm scared to even talk about this, honestly, because
okay.
I don't know.
Well, don't talk about it. I understand. No. I get it.
No. When I say I'm scared to talk about it, it's like I don't know. So what I don't want to do is, like, the women who are on there and they're using it, I don't want to down them or degrade them.
That's what I said. Like, this isn't to down it. Exactly. Yeah. No judgment. But I know that even if that, maybe that is what she like. Hey, she might be into that, right? That might just be her thing. And she's utilizing it to do what she does. And so, but I don't feel like if she was making enough money, she might not be. It could be that she would not be doing this if she was making enough money in her profession.
Right.
So there's the possibility she could still be doing it.
Right. So I guess the thing that makes me scared about this is that, what are we saying about the people who are on there, especially the people who are making good money? Like, I think and I'm trying not to. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about, in my mind, trying to see how I actually feel about this.
Yeah.
Like not mansplain.
Right. No, I get you're in a tougher situation. I can say this, but all I'm saying is I'm gonna speak for the two of us and just say we're not being judgmental at all. If this is how you make your money, go make your money, boo. That's on you. That's your life. I'm saying that a person who is in the profession, a professional athlete, because I don't think this has been, she's not being quiet about the fact that this is supplement for her. Yeah. So that is my problem. Okay. The choice she's making is that's her business. The choice, how she's choosing to supplement is her business. Right. I'm saying she shouldn't have to. Okay. That's what I'm going to say. I'm not listen, if you got that body and you do what you do. No judgment. Again, I'm saying
it shouldn't be supplement. Yeah.
She shouldn't have, if her purpose in doing this is tied to supplementing her income, that is a problem.
That's what the issue lies.
Not what she's doing. Because we don't know, some of these chicks some of these young ladies might be hitting the pole, might be doing other things. We don't know, to supplement theirs.
It's true.
I have zero judgment about what you choose to do. I got judgment on the WNBA that you've got to make a choice. Right. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. This has nothing to do with what she's chosen to do. Show that body. It's nice. So go ahead. If that was getting you the paper, baby girl, do what you do.
That's what you want to do.
That's what you're gonna do. Go do it. I'm just saying, like, I can't knock it. That's your body. Yeah. And your choice.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, let's move on because you're so uncomfortable with this. Real roll call. Let's go.
Now put the cameras on me. 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 Put the cameras on me.